Hello. Alright, so I've seen a lot of tutorials on YouTube on how to create Battlefield Middle-earth maps, but I haven't seen any Edain-specific ones, which is what I really wanted to do because it's my favorite mod. Figured I'd just go ahead and make my own now that I finally figured out how to do it. There's an update patch 4.5 for Edain coming out this month, so hopefully that doesn't mess up this tutorial. But looking forward to that, and let's get into it. To learn, I had to go online and find some tutorial guides. This website, I'll link all these websites into the description, but this was a great one, like the Create Your Own Maps Edain-specific guide here, which is literally this, super helpful. Then this extended guide to map making was even better. Didn't have the Edain specifics, but it goes through everything, like how to add water effects and how to make really pretty textures or whatever. But I won't be doing all of that. I'll just be doing the minimal basics so that you can make your own map and then you can play around with it and have fun, maybe follow some of the stuff in this guide. Alright, so first we are going to need to know how to open the world editor. You go to your game's install location. Now that could be different for everyone. Often it's in like your programs, whatever, but for me, I put it somewhere separate. So I have it here. There's a worldbuilder.exe. The important step though is while we're doing this Edain map, you have to have your Edain mod launcher with the mod enabled. So you can tell it's enabled because it says Edain mod. I could disable it. It's Battlefield Middle-earth Rise of the Witch King. Gotta be enabled when we open this. So it has all the Edain tools. So if I double click this, it'll open it. Another way to get in here is if you have any maps that you've been working on or that you've downloaded online. For example, let's go to my maps folder for all the maps I've gotten offline. So %appdata% in here. My Lord of the Rings, The Rise of the Witch King. Maps. So I've got some in here. So for example, this one. There's a .map file. That's what you're going to be making when you're using the world builder. Normally this doesn't know what app to open with. So if you right click it and you click open with, you can click more apps. And remember, you can have this checked off, always use this app. Look for another app on this PC. And here we can go find what we just found over here. And that for me was right here. So if I double click that, it'll always open these .map files with the world builder tool, which is pretty useful. So I'm just going to jump right into, actually yeah, let's open up this person's map. Whoever they are, they made an awesome map. It's super cool. I loved playing it. So thank you to that person. But here you can see an actually good looking completed map. Nice. I'm gonna zoom way out. Yeah, look at that. It's awesome. A lot of waypoints on here. I can turn those off. Oh, it's just whatever. What all this text is, there's a million of it. They made these cool castles. They got like town lamps. They've got sounds thrown in here. So like the ambiance, so the mountain wind when you walk by there, you'll hear that. Whatever it is. So take this all in because the one I'm gonna make is gonna look even better. We're gonna make a new map. And here's just the default load up for it. Cool. First, let's edit our map settings, I guess. We're gonna need a name for our map. Let's call this one, I don't know, green. Yeah, let's all go to green, everybody. The map name here is what will show up in the game, so you can put spaces and stuff without worrying about it. You can change the time of day. Let's do morning. This right here, camera behavior, max height. That's important. That's how far you can zoom out. Seems like most maps for Edain do it at 550. If you put it too high, that can be considered cheating in some cases in competitive Battlefield Middle-earth. So I just play with my friends. I usually set it to like 700 or something. But for now, let's do it 550. Down here's where you put your map description. So you can say, this map is green, period. If you want to do a new line in here, you have to press Control-Enter. So Control-Enter. Otherwise, just pressing Enter will save it and close the map settings thing. Mostly. You can also, generally they put in here like starting points. Let's do castles for ours. Castles. This is just a description. This isn't affecting anything, but people also generally put the number of outposts. So when we make those, we can put it in. Actually, I'll just make one. I know I'm gonna do it, so let's do that. And settlements, we're gonna have, I don't know, 2. Then, oh, they also like to put like layers. Let's just make a troll layer. Cool. So you can always come in here and edit the description later when you know more of what you're doing. Oh, you can see the light just changed because we switched it to morning. Sweet. So we can also, at any point, resize our map. Generally, you want to make it the size you want at the very beginning. It doesn't have to be a square, but I guess we'll keep ours 400 by 400 for now. The border, that's this red line here. You can view that by clicking on View. And then show borders somewhere in here. Show map boundaries. Turns that off. Turn it back on. Cool. One thing you can do too, all right, let's start with texturing, because texturing is really complicated. I'm gonna make it really dumb, but that's these tools up here. All of these. That's your texture stuff. If you click on single tile, it'll paint with one tile on. Here's where you can pick your thing. Clicking the middle mouse button will zoom in pretty far. So you can see my little blue square down here. That's my one tile that I'm painting with. If I click this one, I can set this to be multiple tiles. Boom, nice. And you can open this up and like do it by region. Ignore that. So it's like, oh, let's do, I don't know, the Shire. They have like flowers and stuff in here. It'll be like flowers, right? So, yeah. So we said our map's gonna be green. There we go. Let's click like the fill bucket maybe. Drop that in. Oh, jeez. Burns my eyes. Okay. Now here, we've got these blend tools. So this one blends in. Let's scroll way down in here. Oh, sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm holding right click and dragging to move the map around, just so you know. So if I click inside this terrain, you will see it took all the terrain that matched it and blended it outwards. It grew a little bit and became smooth. If I use the other one, blend in, you'll see this hard line of grass here is going to go inwards. So I'm gonna click right here. Nice, so it blended inwards. Kind of crappily where I had all these mixed match textures, but it looks nice like around these edges. Cool, now you know how to do textures. Oh man, this map is ugly. Okay, so if we paint some of these textures too, like, let's do some cliff. Paint it, like I'm gonna do just around the edge for a little bit. Cool. So the border here, this line that we're looking at, that's where your troops cannot leave. So right now it's just kind of an invisible wall. There are a couple ways you can make it a little more like, all right, I'm playing the game, I can tell that's the edge of the map. One way that's kind of the uglier way is just to resize your map and increase it by a little bit. So I don't know. Says our border's 30 feet. I wonder if I just increase, no, I'd probably do this by 60 then, right? 60, because it's 30 on each side, 30 on top and bottom. You'll see what I'm talking about in a sec. Yeah, perfect. It stretches the texture in this really ugly way. But now when you're playing, you know, all right, that ugly stretched texture is the wall of the game. Another way you can do it is, let's do some more stuff over here. Look at that pretty texture. Is the terrain tools. Yay, terrain tools. That's these up here. This one creates a set height. Oh, also, so my mouse is right here. It's hard to show you. Well, if you look at the very bottom of my screen, right above the Windows search bar, that's this down here. Oh, I can just kind of, this number, this 15.98, that's the height of the ground in my map. So the height right here that I'm going to set this to, let's make it, I don't know, like, yeah, 60. Perfect. The cell size, that's this blue part, that's what it'll actually be set to, 60 feet. Then the feather width, that's the green part around the blue part, and that'll kind of be like the slope that gradually makes the change. So if I place this here, boom. You can see that ramp that goes up to the top part kind of. It's hard with this texture settings. that I put down. Cool, there we go. If you right click at any point, you get rid of the thing that you have selected, and if you right click and hold and drag, it doesn't go away, you just move around. So be mindful of that. But anyways, so you can see when I put my mouse over here, that number at the bottom of the screen is now 60, like we set it to. That's important to know for when we're trying to place buildings later and we want to make sure that the ground underneath them's flat. But for now, we could do things like make a mountain on the side of the map. Let's reduce this, make it so it has more of a cliff than like a ramp. Let's just be like, yep, you can't go out here. Scrolling out a bit. Yep, that's the edge of the map, buddies. Sorry. So you can do things like that. And we can do too, like, let's make a cool platform everyone can go up to. Let's make a big feather, and we'll slowly lower this down. Oh, I lowered it down pretty far. Yeah, that's working. We're getting there. This is the probably worst way to do this, but just showing you it can be done. I'm trying to create like a ramp that players can walk up. Maybe I should make this a little smaller. And this a little bigger. Alright, we're almost done, we're almost done. Oh Jesus, this is ugly. I'm a really good map maker. Not. Alright, whatever. There we go. Let's do that. If I press Control I, oh, it's really hard to see in all this green. Well, I'm colorblind, so maybe it's not hard to see for you. But Control I shows all the impassable areas. So it's no one can walk up the hill in this direction, but they can get up, I think, over here on the rocks. So they could like walk up these rocks and they could make their way on the top of this cliff and like shoot arrows or something. I don't know. That's how you could do that. Or you could just use the tool that's actually designed for it, which is this mound one. That one like raises the ground and hills and junk. Cool, huh? I'm gonna press Control I again to get rid of that. Okay, so now you know how to mess around with the ground and how to paint textures. Good for you. Let's move on to placing some objects, like the starting positions for the game. So I'm gonna click on this Place Objects button right here. For Edain, if you go into By Native Type, you go into the second civilian. So there's two here. Let's go to the second one. There's this Misk Man-Made. This Festung plot flag, that's starting point for castles. This one is for camps. Oh, also, sorry that I don't speak German, so I don't actually know how to pronounce these words. My apologies. But this one is for settlements. If you want outposts, they're in this lowercase neutral one here. They're the expansion plot flags. So if you want to do starting points of castles, everyone has to be a castle. If you want to do it for camps, everyone has to be a camp. You can't have some people be camps, some people be castles. It just doesn't work that way. All right. Well, yeah, let's, so you can see how the ground, like, because I raised it, it's not flat for my castle. That's bad, because then the castle walls won't actually build. So to fix that, let's just place our castle here. Oh yeah, and this drop down, just hit OK. I'm gonna right click to get rid of this from my mouse. Cool. So to fix this, we can click on our castle. And we can see again 15.98 feet down there, or whatever that is. So let's grab this set tool. Oh, what do we set this to? One of the guides set it. It was something like, I don't know, 150. Yeah, that looks good. And let's make the height exactly what we want it to be, so that, let's just do 16, no, 15.9. Let's be exact, all right? 15.98. Boom. Good. Now the castle is exactly that. Hooray. Okay, let's make another castle so that can be player 2's starting point. There you go. And while we're at it, let's place some of these. We said we'll do 2 of them, so here's 2 of them. And then let's place one of these outposts because we said we'd do that too. Cool. Good. So to do a player starting position, first you need to click on one of these and you need to have it on the player civilians team. Player neutral's here, I think, because I made these settlements and stuff. But otherwise, player civilian's not here. What? Oh no, why? Because we have to go into edit player list, and click add skirmish players. Okay. And normally too, this edit teams, this would be blank, but now it's all in here. You can see we've got player civilian. That's good. Team. Player civilian. Cool. Now we have to name it in Edain. You have to name it Festung _, then a player number 1 through 8. So this will be player 1. We'll just whatever. The word top right here is where the castle's facing. Like that's where the gate is. So we want to move ours. I don't know. Put it like 130 degrees. If I click on the map. All right, now it's facing that way. Let's do negative 130. Didn't change. Oh, the negative didn't register. Negative. Enter. Click, click. Cool. So our gate should be facing right out to our flags now. And then this guy, let's give him a whole 180. No, quit it. All right, cool. And so this one has to be Festung _2. And team player civilian. Cool. Now we also need to add a waypoint to each of these. So this waypoint is going to be player 1 start. Nice. This waypoint is going to be player 2 start. Nice. Oh, I put those here and here in case you couldn't see my mouse. And in Edain, there's a couple of features of the game where like if you're Mordor, you can, one of your powers is to call Haradrim from off the map. So they need to know where the edge of the map is for you. And if you're the dwarves, you can send units off the map on their ponies to come back as like elite units. So you have to know how to get off the map and stuff. So for each player, we need to use these waypoints. This one right here. And we need to decide what their edge of the map is going to be. So for player 1, let's do it way over here. First, you click outside the border, and you hold and you drag into the border. Let's just do it all the way up to here. Then you do the same from inside the border, all the way drag it to outside the border. Cool. Let's do some of those for player 2. There's so from one outside the border into the border, and then the other way around. Perfect. Okay, let's switch back to our mouse tool. So the way this works is, where'd they go? What? Hello, waypoints. Oh, there they are. They're just blending in because, whoa, no, they go away, but I have to name them things. All right, whatever, I can click on it. All right, so you see this one's kind of like a black line that turns red as it goes in. And then this one, it's black and it turns red as it goes out. That's the direction. So we want to click the one that's black outside the border, and we need to name it for player 1, player _1 _spawn. Nice. And then we need to name the path variable player _path. Good, good. So that'll make the path that goes from here to here have the name player path. So if I click on this waypoint, it still has it. And it only matters that the first waypoint is named player 1 spawn. Okay. On this other one, we need to name the path label player _1 _path. And that's it. So we don't need to name the waypoint anything, and the other end of it will have the correct path label, and we don't need to name the waypoint. So that's good. You do that for every player. So player 2's, oh man, if we can find it. There it is. Okay, so remember the black one is the spawn. So player _2 _ spawn. And the path label, player underscore path. Cool. And here, player underscore 2 underscore path. Good. Cool. All good there. Let's go back to our mouse. So now our player starts exist and they work. Oh, I know, I had view points off from what I was showing you earlier. That's why I couldn't see everything. All right, well, there you go. They got their labels now. Okay, you can also rotate these settlements if you want, and that's just the direction that like the farm you build or whatever will be facing. Otherwise, leave everything default. Let's add some objects, I guess. Oh, also don't forget to save often. So let me do a file. Save as. Right, there's a lot going on here to explain. Okay, so in your maps folder, did I show that yet? Yeah. In this maps folder, all these maps appear right here when you can like save and open maps as user maps. I kind of do my editing in a separate folder in my projects game design map folder. So anything I save to my game design folder will not appear in here. So when I go to like open up a different project, its name won't be in here. But if I ever move what's in this game design folder into this maps folder, it will appear. So for example, you can see I made this blood basin map and this adventure map, and they're in here. So they appear in here as well. So keep that in mind. You can always just hit the browse and put it wherever you want, but I'm going to put this in my game design folder and make a new one for it. Now what you name the folder has to be the same name as the map file name, not the map settings. You can name it whatever you want in there, but for example, let's just call this one, we were calling it green green or whatever. Green green. Okay, so I made a new folder. Now that means this has to be named green-green.map. Exactly the same spelling, caps, everything. Cool. Nice. So now that exists. And so what I was saying is if I go to open this, green's not in here. E, F, G, yeah. But when I eventually move it, it will be. Okay, so saving often is good. Now let's add some objects like, let's add a layer. So we said we'd have some troll layers in here. So that's under neutral right here where we got the expansion plot flag. If you under structure, there's all sorts of layers. We've got like barrow whites and dire wolves. So let's just, yeah, hill trolls right here. Let's put that in. Bam, hill troll. Okay. So for this to work, it's defaulted normally to team player neutral. But if we switch it to creeps, then it'll actually function like it'll attack people and all that junk. So that's good. It has to be on creeps. So there's also fun things in here like statues and junk. Like, I don't know, let's add Isenguards. Let's add Orthanc, I think is in here. Tower of Orthanc. Bam! Beautiful. And let's put a little Saruman. Maybe a little alerts. Yeah, here we go. Here's alerts. And let's give him a little Saruman. What? Wait. What? Okay. Saruman. Anyways, this has to be, like, if you don't want it to interact with everyone, put it player neutral. Let's put him player neutral. This one, player neutral too. Alright, cool. So now those will just be there doing whatever. Let's give them a little terrain. No, wrong button. Let's give them a little, like, you can be in this rock. There you go. Enjoy your rock. Mon. Okay, we almost. Oh yeah, Gollum. I want to show. So to add Gollum in those guides that I'm gonna link in the description, there's a script you can download in one of them. The guide's literally called How to Spawn Gollum. I already downloaded the script, So to use it, what you need to do is go here to this button, the edit scripts, and click on player creeps, then click on import scripts, and I have my scripts in here. I only have this one. You open it, you hit OK. So now it exists in here. That's good. So hit OK. Now you add some waypoints, and they're called, let me make sure I get it right. Yeah, okay, I know what it is. So you call it spawn point underscore skirmish Gollum. Yeah, I think I'm spelling that right. Underscore 1. Cool. So you can have up to 8 of these. So you just change that number 1 at the end to 1 through 8 and put them wherever you want on the map, and Gollum will randomly spawn at some of them. That's all there is to that. As long as Ring Heroes is turned on for the map too. Like in game when you're setting it up. Okay, good. So we finished our map. We have start points for players, we have layers, we have outposts and decorations and some terrain, whatever. So we are good. To make a mini map for the game will automatically create a mini map for you if there isn't one, but it's kind of ugly, so I'm gonna make an even uglier one right now. The guides, so you press Control F or you press this view from top down to get a top down view. But the guides that explain how to do it a way different than I do. I tried their way, which is definitely a better way. It didn't work for me. I was just ending up with like a brown square and I don't know what I was doing wrong, so I just figured out a separate different way to do it. But anyways, so we can see our whole map here. We are going to go down to this spot and we're going to type in snipping tool. We're going to create a new screenshot. We're going to want to go from like the borders edges, which I can't even tell where they are, but I think I kind of nailed it. Yeah, I think I got it perfect. Cool. All right. And we are going to copy this. Now, there's a free program called GIMP, G-I-M-P, that you can do the editing in, but I've never used GIMP because I have Photoshop, so I don't know how to use GIMP. So the process is the same, the tools are the same, but whatever. Hopefully you can figure that out if you don't have your own Photoshop. I'm gonna create a new one. Nice, sure, whatever. Going to paste my image there. Also good. And you're gonna want to get your paintbrush tool. Make it as hard as you can, make it maximum opacity. I'm gonna want a size like 7-ish. Whatever, 8's fine. And we're gonna create a new layer. And in this layer, we are going to draw on all of the like things that need to be drawn on, such as these little mountains that we made, which might have a way to get onto them. I'm not sure if I did that right or not. So you could draw on like mountains and rivers, whatever. The online guides explain how to do it in a really pretty way. I'm just showing you the bare minimum basics. Since this is a hill, we can add in like these lines. Oh, let's lower our brush size a bit so that, yeah, here we go. Add in these lines to show that it's got some depth or something. I don't fucking know, man. Yeah, there you go. This fucking mountain, baby. Cool. And let's put like a little Saruman thing here, because you know that's that. I don't even know how to draw one of these. Okay. Perfect. Now I'm going to, so this is where I kind of differ from the guides. I'm just going to grab like an image from Google of parchment and I'm going to paste it. Zoom out and press in a Control-T so that I can edit this and make it the right size. Yeah, perfect. Check. Let's make the layer below my layer. Nice. Now I've got a little map going on. And you have to flip the whole thing. So edit, transform, flip vertical. Oh, not just that layer. No, I need to flip this I need to, can I just do this? Sweet. All right, that's all you do. Then you need to resize it, image size, to have to be 128 by 128. So that is what we will do. Cool. Perfect. And we'll save as. So the reason we're using Photoshop or GIMP is because you can save this as a .tga file. So you can't use like Microsoft Paint to do that or whatever. All right, let's go find where I was editing things. What was in this? Projects, game design, Edain, green. So to name your minimap, you just name it the same thing as all your other files, green. Then you do an underscore art for the minimap. Save. Okay. Boom, that's done. Now we'll want a loading image. So that's like when you're loading the image in the game. Let's just make this one 128 by 128 to start. What's going to be displayed? Cool. So you can put whatever you want here. Ooh, I know what I want. I have the perfect thing. I was working on it earlier. Yes. It's my Sonic OC. So this one, file save as, same location, Targa, and this one you call it the same name again, underscore pick. Yeah, don't steal my Sonic character. It's my own creation. Chairs. All right, so we're done with all that. And we're done with this. And I'm done with that. Okay, so I've got in my green folder right here, I've got the map file. Don't really know what this does. And I've got my mini map, and I got the loading image. So I'm going to take this folder, copy it. Anyone you want to play online with needs this inside their maps folder for the game. %app data %. There's the Witch King, maps, right click, paste, boom, green. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of adventure in here. That was a mistake to have that. Cool. So now if I load up the game, I should be able to play that map, and if I did everything right, it should work. Let's find out. I turned the sound off because Lord of the Rings music gets copyrighted all the time. Even if all of this is like custom made Edain songs, I don't know, that team's awesome. I don't even know how much work they did, but it doesn't matter. All right, if you click on this little hammer, it'll sort by created maps. Green. Yeah, so you can see like, ooh, that's pretty cool. These maps are like better than mine, but whatever, mine works. Yeah, let's just make Isengard on our team. You have Ring Heroes on? Yeah, I do. So we'll find out if Gollum spawns or not. Yep, so you can see chairs there, my map description. We can find out if we can walk up that ramp too. And then like smashed it. Oh, we can go see Saruman. Alright, let's send this guy here so while we're looking at Saruman. Let's see if he can get up there. Alright, so for example, let's see how this farm works. Is it turned like I said it would be? Well, it's facing some direction. Let's see if the troll's aggressive. We can attack it. Yep, it's coming for us. is good. This is awesome. So yeah, we can't attack them because they're on the neutral team or whatever. Alright, and let's see these guys. Oh yeah, they're making their way around. Oh, my map's like off, my drawing. I did something wrong there. But you can figure that out for yourself, I'm sure. Now I could like shoot arrows from up there. Hooray, we did it, we made a map, and everyone, oh, awesome.